Hi, I'm Scott Fritz from Stranded on a Planet.
And I'm Mark Nelson from the Alley Recording Company. And today we're in Pasadena at the Firehouse Recording Studio with Bernie Becker and his son Dale on the Neve Genesys.
Hello, I'm Bernie Becker. Sitting in our mastering room, Bernie Becker Mastering. I have this company along with my son Dale Becker, and our mastering room is located in Pasadena, California, at a place called Firehouse Studios, which we love. And we have our own mastering room here. We have a mixing room, and you'll see in a few minutes there's a great A-style tracking room here, a nice big tracking room. Today we're coming to just tell you a little bit about ourselves, what we do, and we're also going to show you the Neve Genesys, which we've been a proud owner of for a little over 2 years. GC Pro's been great with us. The original salesman that sold it to us is a great guy, and we think of it more like a family situation. They treat us really good. Service has been wonderful. The Neve Genesys is just something that's an amazing product, and I'm not big on just endorsing things for the sake of endorsing them, but I really believe in this product. The gentleman that designed it, obviously there were a lot of people involved, but there's one specific person, Robin at Neve, has just been unbelievable. He came here when we got the console, and there's a local service tech named Dave who takes really good care of us, and we're just going to show you how the console works. We integrate it several different ways. Besides mastering here, I'm also work for Neil Diamond. I'm his recording engineer in the studio, and I also do live sound with him and TV shows and all kinds of different things. But the console, the little Neve Genesys, we've got it in a road case. It travels between our mastering room, our mixing room, and also down to Archangel, which is Neil's studio. And so we use it for everything. In the mastering room here, we bring it in and we use it as a submixer to put stems through and have an alternate to people just bringing a stereo mix, which is great. And there's a lot of different ways to use the Genesys like that. And one of the ways we like to do it is it's as simple as hooking up a FireWire cable from your computer. Interfaces directly, great. Seamlessly, you get audio back and forth, and people can come in and out. We store the settings, they come back a little later, we make more adjustments. It's wonderful for that process. Then we move it in the mixing room where we totally use it as a summing mixer. We use the EQs. It gives you a total amount of real estate that you never ever have just working in the box. Not poo-pooing working in the box, not saying that summing amps aren't great, because I've actually owned over 10 summing amps. I hate to count them all, but I did take some time this morning and count the number of recording consoles I've owned, and this is number 12. I've owned 12 recording consoles. Don't recommend that to anybody financially and for a lot of other reasons, but thankfully I have a nice wife who puts up with me, and she's not paid by Neve to endorse the Neve, so she's not here today. The original reason we got the console is I was looking for a big console sound. I did several sessions around town on the new 88 console that Neve makes, and I was in love with the sound of it. I loved the way the audio came through the console and sounded being summed together. So the Genesys is that. It's summing innards are that same analog audio path, and I love that. So in the mixing mode or in the mastering room too, we use it for summing. And today in the studio at Firehouse A, we're going to actually use it for tracking. It's got the classic old Neve sonic signature imprint sound. Won't go into the design details because I'm not a huge design engineer. I just use my ears. I like what I like, and it's transparent, it's open. If you like Neve sound, it is Neve sound. It's not a new version of old Neve sound. It's a brand new old Neve sounding console. So we look forward to showing you that. You're going to see my son Dale. He's going to be engineering in the other room. We trade back and forth on almost everything we do here, and double up. If he's working in the studio, I'm mastering. If he's mixing, then I might be at Archangel and Neosplice, but we're just busy all the time, thankfully for that, and we're excited that Guitar Center would take the time to show you guys a product that means a lot to us, and I think anybody who would be willing to invest the time into looking into it, that loves audio, that loves Neve, that wants to take their whole process of working to the highest level that you can, you would be really pleased with this product.
So Dale, can you speak for a minute about what features of the Genesys are most critical to how you work?
Well, the tracking functionality we use today, it's like having a full 2 racks of gear that you'd normally bring in all in one compact piece. We have 16 EQs, 1084 EQs, and 16 dynamics, and we have the upgraded pre's, which are new old stock transformers. Sounds fantastic. We really, on a tracking date, we really don't need anything else. One other really nice thing for tracking is we don't need to bring converters either. We used to travel with racks of converters, and these have really beautiful, pristine AD converters as well as DA converters for monitoring, which is fantastic.
So you just plug your Firewire right into it?
You can plug your Firewire into it. You can come out AES, which we do in a room like this where a Firewire cable can't reach the Pro Tools rigs. We'll just do AES. And but laptop producers, a lot of times we will, like on a mix, I do a lot of hip hop sessions where laptop producers or EDM guys will come in and just bring their laptop, and I'll kind of take it from there. They'll have made their mix as awesome as possible, at home, and they just bring their laptop, and I plug in Firewire 400, and I have access to the 32 channels of summing, actually 48 channels. I also have, access to the EQs and the dynamics. The summing bus sounds fantastic. So, I mean, just coming out through the console is a benefit to their mixes without even trying. I mean, you just get the sound of the iron. The console bends really nicely. A lot of other consoles, one of the things that was a big selling point for us is that a lot of the other consoles that were coming out in this format couldn't hit them hard.
Okay.
And that's part of the sound of modern music is the saturation, the analog saturation, and we found that this console really bent nicely. There's a real nice sweet spot if you really spend the time to find it. And it in a mastering situation where laptop producers are bringing their mixes and come out through the console, it actually, the way it rounds off the audio, it almost acts as like its own dynamic device. It's not a limiter or compressor, but
very similar to what a normal 1073 or 1091 would do.
Yeah, it just saturates really nicely and takes care of some of those out of control transients that'll come through in a mix, as well as it allows in our mastering situation, it allows us direct access to the mix. So instead of having a mix go to a bounce, and then the bounce coming into our Pro Tools, and then going DA through our gear, and then AD back, all these conversion processes, there's no bounce, there's no capture of the mix. Laptop producer, or you could even bring your tower in, plug it in Firewire, will just come in, and there's no generation of bounce and DA. It just comes straight out of the DAW through the DA converters in the console. We get a lovely sound on the console, and it goes directly analog out through our rig. So the guys who come in, they come in with mixes that sound great and leave with something that sounds like
twice as good.
Twice as good, yeah.
It's great.
Can you tell us a little bit about the EQ function?
Yeah, the EQs are fantastic. I found my personal favorite part about it, the EQs, is the bottom. The bottom is really nice, round, and it's super fast and punchy. Like you can really you could just do a little bit, or you can do a lot. And no matter how far you turn on the low end, it still remains as dynamic as it was, just with more low end. Like some EQs, there's like a point at which the more you add, it just kind of, I don't know, it
becomes less
restricts
musical.
the sound. Yeah, it's not as musical. These are musical for the whole range of cutting and boost.
Cool.
The other nice thing about it is if there ever was a problem with, say, for instance, a channel on the console or a channel like an EQ, it's not a matter of like you can ship the card out. Or in one instance, we had a little problem with the card, but Guitar Center was there. They had a card in West LA that they just gave to us as a loaner while the one was fixed, and
Okay.
turned out to be a real. We weren't even down for 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, it looks great. Sounds great.
Well, how about we find your dad and then we can get some setup sounds and start tracking before he has to take off.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right.
Just a bit more. We're sounding good, just a hair more.
So what we're doing is we're going to currently just use the 1084 EQs to add some top end to the overheads. So we're going to probably go with a like a 10K shelf and add a couple dB. All the EQs are selectable here either via the arrows or the select buttons. So we just go between and make sure we're happy there. Like say for instance, we wanted to add the EQs are great on the bottom end, adding bottom. So why don't we add some bottom?
Yeah, I
kick?
would. And the nice thing about the EQs with this, these are the direct output, the control for the direct outputs. You can come straight off the mic pre, out of the output of the channel, so you can be as direct as you want, or if you want to insert EQ or compression, you can do that just by flipping through some buttons.
So that's it for today. We want to thank Firehouse Recording Studios, Bernie and Dale Becker, and Abbot Kinney for giving us some great music. We'll see you next time on GC Pro The Top Shelf. And visit gcpro.com for more information on the Neve Genesys console.